Welcome to our explainer. Today, we're diving deep into a really fascinating natural mineral that you're probably seeing pop up everywhere, from major industries to the wellness world. And that's zeolite clinoptilolite. We're going to cut through the noise, look at the real science, and find out what it's actually proven to do, and maybe more importantly, what it's not.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with its pretty incredible origins, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of how it actually works on a microscopic level. After that, we'll check out its proven, real-world uses before we tackle the big one. What does the science say about it for human health? And yeah, we are definitely going to separate the facts from the marketing hype.
All right, first up, a natural wonder. Let's start with the basics. What this stuff actually is and where on earth it comes from. And trust me, it has a pretty epic origin story.
So, the name itself tells a really cool story. Way back in 1756, a Swedish mineralogist, Axel Kronstedt, was playing around with this mineral. He heated it up and noticed something bizarre. It started releasing steam, almost like the rock itself was boiling. So he called it zeolite, which is just Greek for, you guessed it, boiling stone. A perfect name that hints at its unique structure.
Which brings up a pretty wild question, doesn't it? How does a simple boiling stone go from a geological curiosity to something used to clean up nuclear disasters, and now something you can find in health supplements? It's a huge leap. Let's follow the trail.
Well, it all starts with volcanoes. Imagine this. A volcano erupts, and the ash settles in ancient lakes or oceans. Over millions, literally millions of years, the water and ash react, and this incredible crystal structure slowly forms. It's a true product of our planet's raw power.
And its modern history is just as fascinating. It went from being a simple ingredient in concrete 100 years ago to being a serious environmental problem solver. But the real turning point? 1986. Chernobyl. In the middle of that massive nuclear crisis, this mineral was used to literally pull radioactive particles out of the water. They even fed it to cattle to help protect the food supply. That was the moment the world really saw what this stuff was capable of.
Okay, so let's get into the core science. What is it about this mineral, on a microscopic level, that makes it so uniquely powerful?
The whole secret is its structure. The best way to picture it is like a microscopic honeycomb or a cage. But here's the absolute game changer, the most important part. This tiny cage has a natural negative charge. And that one little detail, well, it changes everything.
See, that negative charge acts like a powerful magnet for things that are positively charged. And it just so happens that a lot of nasty stuff like heavy metals and ammonia have a positive charge. So the zeolite cage attracts them, pulls them inside, and locks them away for good. It's a physical trapping process called ion exchange. It's less of a chemical reaction and more like a molecular prison.
So now that we understand that core mechanism, the cage and the magnet, let's look at where it's been a proven workhorse for decades with zero controversy.
When it comes to cleaning water, the numbers are just mind-blowing. We're talking up to 98% efficiency at pulling dangerous heavy metals out of industrial wastewater. It's even used in municipal water systems to get rid of things like ammonia, making the water coming out of our taps safer. That is a huge deal for both the environment and public health.
The big takeaway here is that this isn't some new, unproven fad. It has a long, solid track record in really critical industries. Farmers use it in animal feed to keep livestock healthy. It's put in soil to help grow better crops. It's a major player in environmental cleanup. It just works.
Which brings us to the question I'm sure is on a lot of your minds. Okay, that's great for industry, but what about us? What does the evidence say it does for human health?
Before we go any further, this next point is the single most important thing to understand, so please listen closely. Clinoptilolite particles are too big to get absorbed into your bloodstream. They stay in your digestive tract from start to finish. Think of it like a street sweeper moving down a road. It cleans the road, but it never goes inside the houses. It's a temporary visitor, not a permanent resident in your body.
So, with that in mind, what does the science actually support? Well, it boils down to three main benefits, all happening inside the gut. 1, it can bind to certain heavy metals, trapping them before your body can absorb them. 2, it does the exact same thing for ammonia. And 3, there is some emerging clinical evidence that it might help support a strong and healthy gut wall.
All right, now let's tackle the elephant in the room, the detox claims, especially the ones you see all over social media about parasite cleansing. This is where we have to get really clear and separate the facts from the hype.
This is where we need to be really careful. Look at the left side. These are the established scientific facts. Is it true that parasites produce ammonia? Yes. Is it true that clinoptilolite binds ammonia in the gut? Yes. Now look at the right side. These are the claims that are not proven by science. The claim that zeolite kills parasites or does a full-body detox. So the big leap people make is connecting the facts on the left to prove the claims on the right. But scientifically, that's a leap too far.
So, what's the final verdict here? The idea that it could help with parasite die-off symptoms is what we call a plausible hypothesis. It connects a few true statements together in a way that makes sense on paper, but, and this is a huge but, that final crucial step of proving it actually works that way in humans in a clinical trial, that evidence is missing. It's a really interesting theory, but for now, it's just a theory.
Okay, to finish up, let's talk about safety, and I'll leave you with a few key takeaways from all of this.
When it comes to safety, some things are absolutely non-negotiable. First, the quality and purity of the product are everything. It needs to be properly processed for human consumption. Second, good science shows that its structure is incredibly stable, so you don't need to worry about it releasing aluminum. And finally, and this is so important, please remember, this is a supplement, not a drug. It is never a replacement for proper medical treatment.
And that brings us to our last and honestly our most important point. When it comes to your health, especially for serious issues like heavy metal toxicity or a parasitic infection, there are no shortcuts. The only safe and proven path forward is to work directly with a qualified healthcare professional. They can give you an accurate diagnosis and a treatment plan that's actually backed by science. At the end of the day, understanding the difference between a proven tool and a promising theory isn't just smart, it's absolutely essential for your well-being.